Hello everyone. I hope you're doing well. In this presentation, we'll take you through launching your global accounts. So you might have already registered your global selling accounts, but you're left with listings, approvals, and you don't understand what is wrong with your listings. We'll cover everything here. Also cover a couple of things which are same as Amazon India. So you might see a bit of repetition there, but we'll cover everything in this presentation. So this is the agenda of the presentation. We'll take you through all the necessary approvals, categories, product approvals. We'll take you through what do you need to do in case you do not have a product ID. What would you do in case you do not have brand registry? How would you list your products and how would you optimize your listing to get enough sales? So for the last two topics, which is step-by-step process of listing your products and optimizing your listing, this is very specific to global selling. While the first two have would have a lot of things common with Amazon India for you. So starting with the first topic here, which is category approvals. So there are a number of categories which we need approval. It changes from marketplace to marketplace. In case you are in Amazon.com, it might be different. In case you are in Amazon.eu, it might be different. So these are the examples of categories which require approval in Amazon.com, which is US marketplace of Amazon. So these are some of the categories, which is HPC, health and personal care, or fine jewelry, automotive, music, DVDs, Blu-rays, collectible coins. All of these categories you require approval for. How would you get the approval? Again, it's similar to what you do in Amazon India. You log in into your Seller Central account, you go to inventory, you click on add your product. Once you click on add your product, you'll see this image, which is on the downward left hand side. So you search for the product that you want to get approval for. You might search the category or you might actually search the exact product if you have it. Once you search it, you find the exact product. In case you have not searched for the exact title of the product, you might have to search it here and you click on apply to sell. Please note you might not see apply to sell for all the products. That would mean that you do not need category approval for that category. So if you see apply to sell, that means you need category approval. In case you see sell yours, that means the category is open and you can go ahead and sell the product. Once you do that, you land up on the request approval page. You click on request approval and you'll move on to this page. Here you select whether you are a reseller or a distributor or you are a manufacturer or you are partly both of them. In either of the cases, there would be different documents required. Mostly in the reseller or the distributor category, you would require all the invoices and probably the authentication letter for the from the manufacturer if the category requires it. Not all the categories require it. For manufacturer, you might require different set of documents. These might range from just the live images of the products, or it can go to getting good manufacturing practices, certificates, etc. as well. So that's all about the category approval. We'll move on to the next step, which is getting product ID approval. So we'll start with what exactly the product ID means or the GTIN means. GTIN stands for Global Trade Item Number. This is essentially the barcode that you see behind every product that you see around or you purchase. Uh, Again, since all the branded products would have it, your product might not have it or it might have it. So if your product already has the barcodes or you have the product ID codes, you can skip a couple of minutes in this presentation and you can move on to the next step. Uh, if you do not have it, then it is for you. So in case you do not have it, you can request for GTIN exemption. By GTIN exemption, you are saying Amazon that you do not have a GTIN approval. You do not have a GTIN, and you will still list the products without GTIN. So these are a couple of things that you require in case you're looking for a GTIN exemption. Number one, so you should have the product name, like the exact name of the product, and minimum of two images. So these are the live images. These should not be in a white background. These should not be the images that you generally upload in the listings. These are live images of the product. You have to click like minimum of two. I would suggest ideally click 5 to 6 images of the product, showing all the sides of the box as well as all the sides of the product, so that the branding on the product is very clearly visible, right? If it is a branded product, the branding should be visible. If it is not a branded product, then it's okay. You can just click the photos without the branding. Second thing you need is a support letter. So you need a support letter from the brand owner, manufacturer, or a publisher. So again, it's an or, it's not an and. You can use either the images or the support letter. So either one of them is okay. Now going back, in support letter, your support letter should have your name, the name and the contact information of the brand owner. Number one. Number two, it should have uh, the statement that the brand does not provide GTIN. Number three, it should have the physical address, phone number, and email address of the reseller, as in you. So these are the steps to get a GTIN exemption. It's very simple, very easy. You just go to GTIN exemption page. You can search in the help section for GTIN exemption, or you can directly go to sellercenter.amazon.com/GTINX, GTINX. Once you go there, you will see the screen that you can see on the bottom left of the slide. Again, what you do is you select the product category, you add the names of the brand or the publisher that you are going to add. Again, if you do not have a brand, you can just write generic and go ahead. So if it's an unbranded product, you can just type generic, and then you can apply for multiple. Okay, so if you have multiple brands with you, you can apply for all the brands. Like you can add all the brands. You can add up to 10 brands in one go. Similarly, you can add more categories as well. So it might be possible that you have like two different categories and four different brands, and there are three brands for one category and one brand is common everywhere. So you have to add everything here. You have to add all the categories and all the brands associated with that category, and then the different categories and all the brands associated with different categories. To resolve all the confusion there, if you have one category and one brand, uh, please just mention your category, mention your brand, and click on check for eligibility. So while you click on check for eligibility, you will get a eligibility summary, which would tell you if you can get a GTIN exemption for this category and this brand. If the status says check mark or a tick mark, you can just click on continue to submit proof, and you can submit the proofs that we spoke about in the previous slides. That is, either you need to submit the support letter with all the three prerequisites, or you can submit your branded product images or unbranded product images. Again, the images should be 2 to 3. It should be live images. It should be from multiple angles showing all the sides of the product and the packaging of the product. That's it. Once you do that, you can click on submit request, and uh, you'll receive an email from in 48 hours on the approval status of your request. Alternatively, if you do not get an email, sometimes the email might go to the spam folders. You can go to the case log in your Seller Central panel, and you can check what is the status of this GTIN exemption. Next thing is brand name exemption. So what exactly is the Amazon brand name policy? Amazon brand name policy is basically that a brand should be representative of the product. So product with the same brand generally have the same logo or something similar to other brands, right? As in, if there are two products of a same brand, they would have either the same logo or they will have something similar to each other. So going back to the Amazon brand name policy, sellers need approval from Amazon before listing any product with a new brand. So what you would see is when you're submitting your listing or when you're listing your product, your listing starts seeing some errors. In case that is happening, it would clearly mean that you are required to have an approval, right? If you do not have a branded product, then it's not a problem for you. You can just use generic in the brand name section, and you can go ahead. But if the product is not generic, if the product belongs to your own private brand, you might need an approval from Amazon. Just one thing to be added here is if you are brand registered, you do not need an approval. Again, you can just skip this step and you can move on to the listing. In case you are not brand registered, in case your product is not generic, in case you have a private brand, you would need a brand approval. It's very simple to get a brand approval. What you need to do is you go to seller support. You can click on help button on the seller central panel, and you can click on the issues and you can go here. All you need to tell is product requiring brand exemption as a title or the subject line. And these are the things that you have to submit. Number one, your error code. What was the error code that you were encountering while listing? In case you were not listing via bulk method, you were listing via single uh, listing upload, you might not see the error codes. In that case, you can just mention that this was the listing that was submitted. You can put the link of you can put the ASIN number or you can put the SKU number there as well. Even that is okay. Second thing, the brand name of the product being used. Third thing, the live images. Here, it's very important your live images show the branding of the product. It should be clear branding. The branding should be permanently fixed on the product. It should not be a chit put over the product. It should be a permanently affixed branding, and it can be on the product or on the packaging. Either way, you need to have all the live images to show that your product is branded. For example, you can see an image here. So it's a cable with Amazon Basics logo. So this image is a live image with branding clearly showing. If you're done with brand exemption, if you're done with product ID exemption, or you have a product ID, or you have a brand registry, or it's a generic brand, and you are done with the category approvals as well, you move on to the final product, which is listing the product. Now, listing can be done in three different ways. Number one, it can be an existing product. Number two, it can be a new product. If it is an existing product, which means that the product listing already exists in the Amazon ecosystem. Again, first step would be go to open your Seller Central panel, log in into your Seller Central panel, click on inventory and click on add a product. So this is add a product here. Once you do that, you find the product that you want to sell. So this step is quite similar to what you did in the in the category approvals. So just list the product there. In case you see apply to sell, which means your brand approval has not come yet. So again, you move back to the same steps. You click on apply to sell, apply for the category approval there. In case the product is not logged or the product is not does not require approval, you would see sell yours. In case you see sell yours, you can directly click on sell yours and you'll move on to the listing of the product. Please note, you can only do this for the products or the brand you're authorized to sell. Sometimes Amazon might not check it in the beginning, but in case you're not authorized to sell, it might lead to the account suspension. So please make sure that you're authorized to sell the product in the marketplace that you're going to sell it. That's it. If you click on sell yours, you just need to add the prices there and you will be good to go. Now moving on to the second part, which is listing a new product. We'll start with the same steps. You click on add a product, you search for the product. While you search for the product, rather than clicking on search, you click on I am adding a product not sold on Amazon. You will see this option here. So this would mean that this product is not there in the Amazon portfolio and you have to list a new product there. Once you do that, you select the category and the subcategories. You can either browse it on your own manually or you can just search for the category. There's a search bar on the top. You can search for the product and it will give you all the suggestions from Amazon and you can pick the most relevant suggestion there. Once you pick the suggestions, you will see this page. First, you need to enter the product IDs or the barcodes. Again, if you have the product ID approval there, you would not see the asterisk mark here and you can leave it empty. But if you have the product ID code, then you can enter the product ID code. Second thing, the product name. So this product name is the title of the product. Please make sure that this title has all the keywords in it because this is the title that every customer would see. It should be very clearly understandable what this title means. We'll take it in the end of the presentation on how your title should look like. Third, enter the brand name. Again, you can enter generic if it's a generic product. Fourth, enter the manufacturer name. So who's the manufacturer? In case you are the manufacturer, you can just mention your brand name here or your company's name here. Apart from that, apart from the vital info that you have already filled, you have to click change the tabs also. So you will see the tabs on the top of the screen, which is vital info, variations, offer. So vital info and offers are mandatory tabs. You have to go through it and you have to complete all the steps. Go to offer tabs and you mention your price, quantity, and condition of the product. Most of the products sold can only be in the new condition, so please make sure that you are allowed to sell the condition that you are. Then you click on description, you enter the product descriptions, you enter the product key features. This key features would come as the bullet points of your product. So please make sure that all the key features are added there. Then you click on images tab, you add all the images. You need to have at least 2 to 5 images for each product, depending upon what sort of product it is. So your image should in itself show entirely what the product means. Uh, Please make sure that your images are in the white background and they do not violate the Amazon image policies. That's about it, guys. As in that's it. This is how you list a single product. So this method is very helpful if the product that you're going to sell, there are like a limited number of products, and the product that you're listing are quite different from each other. However, if the products are quite similar to each other, for example, you are listing 6 different t-shirts and it's just the size difference and everything else is the same, then it makes more sense to go through the bulk upload. Through bulk upload, you rather than writing everything in the Amazon ecosystem that they are providing, you can just mention it in the Excel file and you can upload the Excel file. Again, we'll start with the same steps. You click on seller, you open your Seller Central panel, you click on inventory, you click on add a product via upload. In this, you'll see three different tabs. The first one would be download an inventory file, second one would be upload an inventory file, third one would be monitor status. We'll use all the three tabs. We'll start with download an inventory file. We'll search for the category and we'll download this file by clicking on generate template. Once we do that, we'll get an Excel file similar to the guidelines that I described in the previous section, which is adding a new product in a single upload. It would be exactly the same here, but you would have to enter it in the Excel file. And again, you can just drag and drop where you have to copy the things. Again, in the Excel file, you have to put everything in the template sheet and not in any other sheet. You can take an example by clicking on example sheet. You can understand what is supposed to be filled in every cell and you can come back to the template sheet and fill everything. Once you do that, to the second tab, which is upload your inventory file, you choose the file type as inventory file for the specific categories. Upload the file, choose the format of the file that you have uploaded. If it is text format, then you click on text here. If it's an Excel format, you click on Excel format here. That's it. Once you have done that, you click on upload. Once you have uploaded the product, you go to the third tab, which is monitor upload status. Here you can check what is the status of your upload. If it is uploaded, then it will show success. If it is not uploaded, it will show the error codes. So using these error codes, you can make the corrections if there are any, and then you can re-upload your files. That's it, guys. That's about listing. We'll move on to the last section of this presentation, which is optimizing your listing or making sure you have the best practices while you're listing the product. We'll start with why this is important. Creating a good listing is actually the mantra of getting sales. Because if your product is visible to the customer, then only the customer can purchase. As we keep saying, दिखेगा नहीं तो बिकेगा नहीं, दिखेगा तभी बिकेगा. Hence, you have to ensure that the listing is made in such a manner that the visibility of the product is maximum, and only the good visibility can translate to a good sales. Again, there should be some hygiene factors which we'll cover up in the next slide. So in the slide, in a listing, there are six things which are very, very, very important, and you have to ensure that all of these six things are mentioned very correctly. These are bullet points, images, keywords, pricing, description, and bullet titles, product titles. Again, these are the things that are important. Product title, again, the product title should have all the necessary keywords in it. For example, if it is if it's an apparel product, you have to mention the brand, the department as in whether it's a t-shirt or a jeans or what the product is. Product name. So the product name could be again the what the product is, then what is the size of the product, what is the color of the product. So for example, if you look at here, you'll see everything. So the brand is hidden here. The brand, what sort of product it is? It is men's long sleeve heavyweight fleece shirt. Apart from that, after this, you can mention the size of the product as well as the color of the product as well. So here the size is not chosen, hence it is not showing the full name. But yes, you should have all of these things in the title itself. Second thing, bullet point. In bullet points, you need number one, the key product feature. So for example, if it's a bed sheet product, you need to mention what is the size of the product, what the product is made of, and why is it important. So these all things in very brief, it should be there in the bullet points. Second thing, if there are any additional characteristics or additional uses, or there are any disclaimers, or there are any wash care instructions, anything that is important for the customer, you think it is very important for the customer, and even the customer who are not going through the description should know these things, you should mention all of these things in the bullet point. Very important thing here, bullet point are one of the major key selling points of your product. One, because the keywords in it lead to your searches. Number two, it's written in brief and everyone can read it rather than going through all the descriptions. And if they are very impressed with your bullet points, they'll purchase the product. So please be very conscious while writing the bullet points for your product. Moving on to the next part, the product price. So the competitive price, again, it's very important for the visibility and good sales of the product, but you have to ensure that you're profitable while you're selling the product. You have to ensure that if you start with the cost and you add uh, all the cost cost involved while selling on Amazon, you reach the price, and the price that you reach is competitive in the market. The next part is product images. The product images should be, again, it can depend from product to product. A book product can have like 2 to 3 images. That should be enough. Product which is apparel, it need to have a lot of images. It need to have at least 5 good images. If it is a bed sheet product, it can have like up to 5 to 6 images. It can be the image of the bed sheet. It can be image of the packaging of the bed sheet, the fabric of the bed sheet, the close-up shot. then it could be a live image as well. So all of these things should be there. Please ensure that the how the different images, the different shots of the angle, shots of the image of the product you add, it becomes easier for the customer to understand what the product means. Hence, please add as many images as you can. These should be high quality, high resolution images. These should be on different from different angles. Should show the product packaging as well. Should show the close-ups as well, and it should be on the white background. At least the main image should be on the white background. Next thing is the product description. So if a customer reaches your product description, which means you have more or less made the sale and the customer wants to know more about it. Hence, description becomes very important because if you write a single sentence there, it's already written in your title and your bullet point, and you're not giving anything extra to the customer. So it should be a well written product description, and customer should be able to understand the experience of handling and owning the product. It should be less than 2000 characters, and it can be made into different paragraphs if there are different topics there so that the customer does not lose attention while reading through your description. The last part remaining is the keywords. So keywords are very important. You'll see this as generic keywords or it's a field in the listings as well. And we have seen many people miss it out. Please ensure that these keywords are very important. What it need to contain is all the keywords which are important for your product. It can be the frequently made spelling mistakes of your product. For example, sari can be spelled in many different ways. You can mention all the spellings here. It can have the spelling mistakes like if you think that the product that you are mentioning is often spelled wrong. You can mention the wrong spelling in the keyword so that even if the customer spells it differently, he would still be able to see it. Anything else if you think is important, anything else, any other keyword if you think should show your product if searched, you can add all of these keywords as well. That's it, guys. That's about it. And these are all the good practices, and these are all the things required for the listings. In case you have any question, please reach out to us on indiaglobalsales@amazon.com, and we'll be happy to take your questions. Thank you.